Hey guys, it's Brian here with FishingHype.com, Fishing Hype Guide Service, and I've got your KentuckyLake.com tip of the week for you. And it has to do with, we've got fall coming up. Doesn't feel like it today. It's still kind of hot and muggy, but we're only a few weeks away from temperatures starting to cool off. Water's going to start cooling off. Those fish are going to start moving in the back of the bays, and we're going to start into our fall fishing pattern. And I've got 4 of my go-to fall power fishing baits. Now you can do some finesse fishing yet in the fall, fishing gets tough and all, but to me fall means fish are wanting to feed, they're feeding up for the winter time, lots of bait in the back of the bays, and the fish are chasing, they're eating, that's what they're there to do. So my choices on baits are to really move fast is your rattle baits, your lipless crankbaits like the Spro or Ruku shad. You got your rattle traps, you got your red-eye shads, but something that you can throw out there and cover a lot of water with. Get up there shallow. These fish are getting in the backs of the bays. You're only looking at fishing about 1 to 3 foot of water at most, and you can throw those things out there and just cover a ton of water. Even if you can't get the boat up to them, you can still get it up there and crank it across there pretty quick. But that helps you move across water. The other one is a blade bait like the steel shad. Basically the same principle as the rattle baits or your lipless crankbaits. The only difference is there are just some times that a little bit later in the fall when the fish have been kind of pressured and they've heard a lot of the rattle baits go through. I mean, you come behind them with the steel shad and it throws off a lot of vibration, but it doesn't have any sound to the rattles. And I've seen a lot of times where this will definitely pick you up some key fish, and maybe fish that are just keyed in some smaller profile bait. That there will definitely catch you some extra fish. Square bills up against the bank, riprap, around the wood. Definitely you got to have square bill. And my preference during the fall is something a little bit fatter, like this here's a Spro Fat John. I love the Little Johns during the spring. You got that narrow wobble on them, that tight wobble. Here I want something big, fat, wide wobble going down along those logs and around that riprap. You can even cover across the backs of the flats with these. Another great bait to power fish with is a square bill. And try the different sizes. Some of the companies out there have a 2.0 and a 1.0, 1.5, stuff like that. Experiment with the size of the fish you're catching versus the size of the bait you're using, and get an idea. Sometimes they just want a smaller bait. That's one key thing in the fall fishing is, it's very frustrating, is trying to get the exact size that those fish are keyed in on, because if you can find it, you can catch fish all day long no matter what. And if you can't really get it keyed in on what they're doing, boy, it can be fall fishing can be really tough. And that's what kind of frustrates some people with it is you can have fish in the back of a bay busting all around the boat and throwing everything at them, just can't get keyed in. They're just so keyed in on a specific deal that it just happens to be that way. But if you get lucky during the day or sometime that week and get that right bait that they're on, it can be game on. And last but not least though, is a topwater bait. And everybody knows down here in Kentucky and Barkley Lakes that the fall topwater fishing is absolutely phenomenal. Again, bait size, I always start out generally in the medium to larger size bait. Sometimes you can go down to a junior or a smaller size bait, but your normal 5.5-inch size, 6-inch baits, and even up into some of the bigger saltwater size will definitely draw. Generally, I'll throw these for the bigger bites. I may only get 6 to 8 bites in a day, but they're going to be the big bites. I'm going to throw most of these for numbers in the backs of the bays, and I get out on the flats and stuff, I'm going to throw the topwater bait for the bigger bites. So, but that's your KentuckyLake.com tip of the week is power fish in the fall, cover a lot of water, and just have a good time out there. This is Captain Brian Brown with Fishing Hype Guide Service, FishingHype.com. Tight lines, we'll catch you out on the water. Guys, if you find these tips helpful and they're helping you catch more fish and you like what you're seeing, please hit the like button and hit my subscribe button down below, and that way you'll get every time a new video comes out. I'm trying to do them weekly, but every time a new one comes out, you'll be the first to know and be able to get to see them right away.